Hi guys, it's Amy with Aim to Plan, and I am back with another video in my planner therapy series focused on positive psychology. Today we're going to be talking about love. So I had planned to make this video before Valentine's Day, but really, any time is a great time to celebrate love, I think. We don't necessarily have to have it attached to Valentine's Day only. So today what we're going to be talking about is love, as you saw from the card, as well as, what I announced at the beginning. And so we're going to jump in with defining what love is as a character strength, and then just kind of adapting a couple of things in your planner that could be useful for you to think about and try to enhance your own love as a character strength. So let's dive right into it. So to start off with, let's define love. Love is, according to the profile that you receive when you take the character strength, the idea of valuing close relations with others, in particular those in which sharing and caring are reciprocated. So, like that kind of give and take relationships. We are going to be looking at the idea of being close to people. So there are actually several different areas of love, and according to the Via Character website, viacharacter.org, love is like really something obviously we don't really need to explain. But what we really need to highlight here is that love is considered a character strength in terms of like it's something that helps you to guide your behaviors. It does have an emotional basis to it, but aren't here talking about love as an action rather than love as an emotion. The other thing that I'll point out is that on the Via Character Strength, I'll include a screenshot so you can see it. There are, according to the Via Character website, like four major kind of components of love, or four different forms of love. So the first one is attachment. This is really the relationship between parent and child. So you can have the attachment from parent to child or from child to parent. That kind of attachment love, those relationships, that bond that form between parent and child, is one of the forms of love. The second form of love is the compassionate love. Love is more easily described as kindness. What we see here is the love for strangers. We are going to be willing to engage with other people even though we don't really know them. Like we are able to provide love to them even though they are people who are not in our inner circle. The third form of love is companionate love. And this is really friendship. These are the like behaviors, actions, and emotions that we have for our friends. And so this is the love that we have for our coworkers, for obviously our friend group, but also maybe for the acquaintances that we have in our life, the people that we, for example, say that we're going to pray for. All of these individuals are people that we have companionate love for. And then lastly is, I think, the most obvious form of love, the one that we I think most commonly think of as soon as we talk about love, and that's romantic love. Romantic love is the love that we have for a significant other, whether that's a husband, a wife, a partner, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever term you use. That love that we have romantically for another person is romantic love. Now, in all four forms of love, one of the keys that I think is important to keep in mind is that in terms of describing it as a character strength, love is really meant to be a behavior. It's meant to be a set of actions. It's meant to be something that we are expressing appreciation for them overtly, that they are able to see that we love them through our actions and not just through like the guessing game of like maybe they love me but they haven't told me, or they haven't said so, or they haven't demonstrated it in some way. In a lot of ways this idea of love is really kind of encapsulated in like several different, like, I mean, it's such a huge topic, right? We see pop culture references like in the love languages and things like that. However you decide to demonstrate your love, I think it's important for us as planners. I mean, that's why we're here, right? How does planning kind of come into play with these character strengths? One of the things that I think is important is to be able to acknowledge, just like I said in the previous video on prudence, that love is our character strength. It's really kind of hard sometimes for us to recognize that it is a strength of ours because it comes so naturally to us. For me, love is number 11, so it's not one of my top signature strengths, but it is in the top 50%. And so for me, sometimes it becomes like a a thing that I just kind of brush off. Like, oh yeah, I obviously like feel an emotional attachment to other people. I do love other people. And because it's more natural to me than Prudence is, I don't give myself as much credit for loving other people. And so one of the things that I will mention repeatedly across this series is that if it's a signature strength of yours, if it's a top strength of yours, own it. Be okay with accepting it. In fact, don't just be okay with it, like embrace it. It is your character strength. These are the things that drive you as a person. And I think there's a lot of like really good ways that we can like acknowledge that these are the top things that are in our life. These are the things that drive us. And, like that if love is your thing, if it's the thing that drives you as a person, it's one of your top strengths, then be open and admit those things are important to you. And don't shy away from acknowledging that, right? Like maybe it feels a little bit weird at the beginning to say, I really just love you. But that is you. You love other people, and I think that's totally okay. Again, I think one of the big lessons for this series is to be able to acknowledge our strengths and own up to those strengths, be responsible, embrace these strengths, and make use of them so that way we can enhance our own personality, our own well-being, and like be able to influence the people around us. So with that being said, then I am developing like a very simple system for kind of tracking love in our planner. You can see here that I have one of the perpetual calendars, the yearly overview pages. This is outdated. So if you're looking for this in particular, this is from a very old planner. I'm just going to use it for demonstration purposes. Although I really do want to keep up with these. I am really trying to hone in on my own personal signature strengths. So for the purposes of the video, for the strengths that are not my top strengths, I'm doing demonstrations for what I think would work. But for when it comes down to my actual top strengths, which I will hopefully get to at some point in the year, I will actually try to incorporate these into my planner. And so if you're interested in kind of seeing that journey too, this is kind of a side note, but if you're interested in seeing that journey, and having like more regular updates for how those things are working for me, just leave me a comment and I will be sure to kind of like include like maybe some side episodes, some like tangent episodes, mini episodes. I don't really know what to call it, but anyway, like just like a little bit separate from these kind of explanatory videos. So anyway, all that as an aside, I pulled these yearly overview pages because one of the things that I think is really important, again, love as a character strength, love as a set of behaviors, is to be able to acknowledge to ourselves that we do love other people, that there are people that call to us that we feel heart-to-heart connections with, but then also to be able to take that love and express it to them. And so this is part one of like I would just call it like one single thing that you could kind of do, but let me just explain it. Okay, love as a behavior then, for me, has two components. The first component is being able to acknowledge to ourselves that we do love other people. So the yearly overview kind of comes into play for that. This is a chance for you to write down on like every day the people that kind of like came to mind for you when you sat down at the end of the day and said, who did I love today, right? And if you want to do this at night, that's a great way of doing it, but also maybe you want to do it in the morning. Who am I going to intentionally focus on loving today? And being able to write down that name and again, being intentional about it, I think is a great way to enhance this character strength of love. So this is a chance for you to just write down the person's name. If you want to do more than one, I certainly, I think that will be fine, but you might run out of room if you're trying to do it on this yearly overview. But certainly at least one name, just write down the name. And here's part two. Again, I think that love needs to be like a reciprocal relationship, right? That's actually the definition of love, is like that you're in these caring relationships. The people give to you, you give to them, and there's a kind of back and forth. Now, love is not really meant to be selfish in that way. Like you don't have to have love given back to you, but certainly you want to like not keep your love to yourself, right? Like love is meant to be given to other people. So with that idea in mind, you're going to be writing people's names down here, but how are you going to show them that you love them? And one of the ways that we can do this, again, knowing that we're all planners here watching this video, or I assume everyone's a planner watching this video, I have a second part to this system, and that is writing love letters to the people that you're naming here. Now, the way I see this working, and again, this is for demonstration purposes, love is number 11 for me, and so I think this will be very good for me to try to enhance love, but I also feel like, my top strengths, again, like run the gamut, and I have something similar to love, I think, in my top 5, which we'll get to in the year in 2022. But in terms of writing these love letters, one of the things that I envision with these love letters is that you're able to write, whenever the person's name comes up, you're writing them these letters. Now, these letters don't have to be given to them like every single time you write them. In fact, I think it would be like a really good exercise to write these letters and just compile them for yourself. I'm using a micro just because if I'm doing this every day, I feel like a micro size would be a little bit more manageable than trying to do like a classic size sheet or a skinny classic or any other size, right? But you can certainly, like, if you want to be more decorative and use stickers and make every sheet a little bit prettier, you can certainly do that. I think that that would be great to do with a classic size and still, keep the writing to like a small amount of writing, but like have it be pretty. But for me, I think that I'm just going to stick with writing just a few words for my love letters. And so what I'm going to do is just start. I'm going to write this first letter, and I'll fast forward through this part, but I'm going to start writing love letters to my daughter, Sophia. And she's not going to be the person I write every single time, but this will be just the first one that I do for demonstration purposes. And so it's just going to be a letter to Sophia. I do put the date, I put her name, and then I'll sign it at the end. Okay, I am done. Right, I'll hold it a little bit closer. I do have humor as one of again, like in the top half. But so this is Sophia. Today I saw your absolute joy in having a free weekend day. I should have put day there. Unfortunately, it is Friday, but you will get a Saturday, my heart. So that was just my quick note to her. I am recording this while she's at school, so there is absolutely no problem with me, like if something else happens today, for me to write another letter. But this is how this is gonna work. At least, one of the ways that I think that this could absolutely work really well. And that is to put all of your notes into a micro notebook, right? And so I'm starting with Sophia, right? And so she has a little micro notebook. I'm going to like put this in here. One of the things I'll probably do is either decide to continue writing here on the back, or I might just decorate this page and just kind of have it be part decorative, part functional with the letters. But I'm going to save this and set this to the side for however long I want to set it to the side, right? It could be that I write letters all the way through into her birthday and give it to her on her birthday. It could be that I will just save these letters, and whenever she has a bad day, I might pull this out and read her some of the letters. It could be whatever you decide, right? But this is one of the ways that you could, as a planner, kind of use the tools that you have on hand to be able to exhibit love to others. And again, this may not be like going out and giving hugs to people, although I do absolutely appreciate a hug. So if you have love as a character strength and you want to give me a hug, feel free to do so. But this is a great way for you to kind of collate, compile all of your thoughts on love about a specific person into one single spot. Now, again, I do have it for Sophia because that's literally the first letter that I've written, but I also think that you can create multiple micro notebooks for all the different people in your life. It could be your significant other. It could be a friend that you feel like is kind of going through some things right now and you feel like you want to give love to them. It could be a child. It could be a parent of yours. These letters are appropriate for anyone that you love in your life. And it's just a matter of like making sure that you write them a letter. Now, you don't have to write them a letter every day. I think that it would be good if you wanted to do that. I think that would be kind of a fun project, actually. So, again, I might try that, not this time around, but maybe it could be something that I try during the summer or some other time where I feel like I have a little bit more free time. But as you write these letters, this index is really meant for you to be able to, today is the 18th, right? I'm just going to write here that I wrote a letter to Sophia. This is my chance to kind of reference who I wrote letters for. I keep track of where the letters are and like who I've written letters for. I can look and see across time who I've really felt love for and who I've really kind of resonated with. Again, you can write multiple letters. I don't think that you only have to write one letter every day, but I think from the perspective of like psychology, like getting into the habit of writing letters regularly, even if it's not for the same person, is a good habit to develop for love. And also, this is meant to be a physical, tangible product that you're able to give to people at whatever time point you want to. If you want to give it to them every day, you can certainly do that. But also you could give it to them at like specific moments. We do see things like just as adaptations of this, like where parents, for example, will put notes into their children's lunch boxes, just telling them that they are loved. These things really do make an impact, right? And at a larger level, like outside of the planner, one of the things that I do absolutely encourage you to do is, I'm saying write these letters and like maybe hold on to them for a while. But in the day-to-day living of your life, if you feel like someone needs love and your top strength is love, or it's one of your signature strengths, or even if it's not one of your signature strengths and love is 24 on your list, giving people love and like letting them feel the love from you is absolutely so impactful for people. So give them a hug. That is absolutely okay to do. Just express love to people on a regular basis. Now, one of the super interesting things, and I'll kind of wrap up with this, is that for me as a professional, one of the big messages that I get a lot is that, especially when I was a career counselor, we can't use these signature strengths in certain settings like work. I don't agree with that. I think that love can absolutely be used in the workplace. If nothing else, it could be as simple as saying, hey, I see you, I recognize you, I see that you're going through something difficult. I acknowledge that there's something going on for you personally, professionally, and I'm okay with that. Maybe your workplace isn't a workplace of hugs, but it is a workplace that can absolutely benefit from like the acknowledgement of other people's emotions, and that's one way to express love even in the workplace. So I don't think that there's any place off limits for the love that you can express for other people. So again, I'm writing letters here to significant others for Sophia, my daughter, but you can write it for significant others, you can write it for coworkers, you can write it for friends, you can write it for strangers. These things are all appropriate places for you to kind of write these love letters, and document for yourself where the letters are going to, or who the letters are addressed to, but then you're also actually writing the letters so that way there's something that you can give to them, or even if you don't want to give it to them, you've at least expressed your love out on paper. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel and look forward to more videos. I'm super excited about this series and I'm just starting to gear up for it. So look forward to the rest of the videos. Until the next one, you guys, I will see you. Bye.